Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Knowing that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam ordered the Muslim man to trim the mustache and grow the beard, a question can be asked: what are the limitations of the beard and the mustache? Should you trim or shave? What about the hair between the mustache and the beard? What about what's called the soul patch? In Arabic it's called anfaqa, and this is called sibalan. Are these a part of the beard or not? Tayyib. So first and foremost, to understand these, we look at the Arabic language, but we also look at the fi'l, the actions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Sahaba radiyallahu anhum, so we can know these ahkam, shar'i ahkam. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us afu, yani to let the lahya go, to grow it out. What is considered the lahya? So when we look at the books of Arabic language, like Lisan al-Arab, Ibn Manzur, he mentioned in the famous book Lisan al-Arab that al-lahya is what is by the jawbone, and al-khadain, the two cheeks, and al-dhiqn, the chin. So to understand, we see this bone here by the ear. This is where the beard begins. Above this bone that's by the ear is the head. So when you finish ihram or so on, you shave or trim what is above this and not below. So below this, and this is why the name lahya comes from the word for the jawbone. So what goes along with the jawbone, this is the lahya. And what comes on these two cheeks and on the chin, this is all. This is the jamhur, the majority of the Arabic linguists have mentioned this is the beard. This is what you allow to grow. And the Prophet ﷺ, when you look at his beard, it was as thick as we've mentioned, yani a big beard. So this is what he allowed to go. And the Sahaba radiyallahu anhum, they didn't trim these sides up to get just a goatee. None of the Sahaba did this. Rasulullah sallam didn't do this. This was all the beard. So this is what you grow. Now the hair that's on the neck, if somebody has hair past their yani the bottom of the beard on the neck, none of the scholars of the Arabic language consider that to be a part of the lahya. So if somebody has hair on their neck, on their Adam's apple or so on, they are permitted to remove that hair that is not a part of the beard. Or the hair that grows past the cheeks, past the cheekbone here. But we have the bone up here. When it gets close to the eye, to remove this hair is also permissible because that is not a part of the lahya. Having said that, the hair that starts here on the cheeks, by the jawbone and the chin, this is all a part of the lahya, as we see from the example of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Sahaba, that this should be left, and that is in accordance with the Arabic language. The hair that is between the mustache and the beard, this is called sibal. Sibalan, the two sibal, this hair here between the mustache and the beard, this can be trimmed. And there is a dalil for this, a hadith in the Musnad of Imam Ahmad, it's a Hasan Ralab al hadith, where Rasulullah said, Qusu sibalakum, to cut down the sibal. So this hair between the mustache and the beard here should be and can be trimmed. Tayyib. Now comes the issue of what's called the soul patch, right? In English we call this the hair that is under the lip, over the beard, and in Arabic it's called anfaqa. Anfaqa is the hair here. Regarding this, there are three aqwal, three major opinions amongst the ulama of Islam. The Maliki ulama, they have man'a, that they said you cannot trim this hair, this is part of the beard, and there is tahrim, it's haram to trim this. And this is also the qawl taken by Shaykh Ibn Baz and Shaykh Salih al-Fawzan in one of his shuruh of al-Umdah. The second opinion is that of the Hanafiya and the Shawafi', that it is makruh, as An-Nawawi has mentioned, and Ibn Abidin, that this is from the hair that is makruh, is karaha to cut, but if you cut it, it's not tahrim, but it's makruh. And there is the opinion of the Hanabila, as mentioned Al-Insaf and Sharh al-Muntaha and Al-Furu' of Ibn Muflih, that this is permissible to cut because this is not considered part of the beard. And this is also the qawl of Shaykhuna Muhammad Salih ibn Uthaymeen, and Shaykh Salih al-Fawzan in his Sharh al-Bulugh, he also mentioned this qawl as well. Tayyib, if we look at adilla, we do know that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had hair here because the hadith that is mentioned in Al-Bukhari from Abdullah ibn Bushrin radiyallahu anhu, he said, I saw Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his anfaqa, this hair here, had some bayd, yani some white hairs in it. So we know that Rasulullah had this, but he also had a mustache. So is it considered a part of the mustache or part of the beard? So here, when we don't have any clear dalil, we have to go back to linguistics. In the Arabic language, in the linguistics of the lahya, it is that which starts from the bone here, goes along the jaw, on the cheeks, and the chin, not what is above it. So what seems to be rajih, wallahu alam, that you should leave it because Rasulullah had this hair. But if somebody was to trim this hair here, the anfaqa, this is not tahreem, this is not haram as a part of the beard. And this is what Shaykh Muhammad Salih ibn Uthman and other A'imma and ulama have mentioned, and this is what's rajih. Tell you the last thing now, the mustache. Do you trim it or shave it? Some of the ulama said there is jawaz on shaving it, but if we look at adilla, the proofs, halaq, yani to shave has not been mentioned. Either qusu or juzu or other words have been mentioned that to trim, to shorten. And this is the Jumhur al-Ulama. Ibn Abidin, for example, in his Hashiyah said that the Hanafi madhab prefers trimming over shaving. It is permissible to shave, but it's better to trim, not to shave. And this is the opinion of a Shafi'i, as he has himself mentioned, and and others, to trim is the correct way. And this is what is mentioned from the Hanabila. Yani Imam Ahmad has a nas sarih on this, and Al-Insaf and others mention to trim, not to shave. The Maliki are the strictest on this. Imam Malik, as mentioned in Mudawwan and other books, he considered shaving to be a bid'ah. In fact, he saw somebody with a shaved mustache. He said, this is a person of bid'ah, should be beaten. So he had the strong opinion that you should trim. When we go back to the example of the Sahaba radiyallahu anhum, we don't see them halaq, yani to shave it. Rather, we see that some of them trimmed it close, like Ibn Umar. Some of them left it more hairy, but not over the lip, like Umar ibn Khattab. So we would say what is best is to trim the mustache and not shave it. If somebody shaves it, yani, we cannot say this is haram, but we would say that it's better that they trim it because that is closer to the words that are used by the Prophet ﷺ regarding the mustache, to trim the mustache and grow the beard.